Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So in front of us is the all-new 2023 BMW M2. This model is finished off in Zandvoort blue, and we'll go over the MSRP once we go over all the specs and features and get this performance-oriented and practical sports car out on the road. So let's start off with what powers the M2. This is basically the entry-level M car from BMW. We get the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin turbo engine. It is paired to the 6-speed manual transmission, pumping out 453 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. That power sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,700-pound sports car from 0 to 60 in as quick as 3.6 seconds, up to its top speed of 177. Now, as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking right around 16 miles per gallon in the city and 24 out on the highway. So let's work our way to the exterior styling now, where it's been a bit controversial. Personally, I love the new change and the new look. It almost has a mini wide body design to it, but everything up front is extremely functional. We have cutouts in the kidney grille, which no longer has that surround. It has a sunken in look to it with the bodywork surrounding it. This model has all of the M50 years badge logos, and then for the lower section, it's all gloss black, which is a nice contrast. You can see parking sensors, and then all of these massive inlets to provide all of the cooling that you need for this engine. Of course, it has the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals, and then some nice lines that run down the hood. Now, as we work our way to the side, this has a staggered setup for the wheels, 19 inches up front, 20 inches in the rear, with the blue brake calipers with 6 pistons up front. It also has the sport-tuned suspension. We have the two-tone for the power folding side mirrors with the turn signal, and this model has the optional carbon fiber roof. It's about $1,100 to go with this. Very nice touch to see. I would like to see some more carbon fiber accents with that roof package, but nonetheless, you still get that. And then from the side, you can see more of that boxy design. So it's been a bit controversial compared to the previous M2 models, but you can see some of the bulges in the fender arches, in the lower side skirt, and then this entire rear fender to give it that mini wide body appearance. So while it has a boxy look to it, I think everything flows very nicely. And then for the rear, you can see the very small trunk mounted spoiler, which is body colored, LED taillights. We have the backup camera with the sensors, and some more gloss black in that diffuser with that quad tip active dual exhaust. Very nice lines in the rear too, having more of that squared off look. And then while we have a performance-oriented sports car, we also have a practical sports car at the same time. You have a good amount of space to put in a lot of items. You can even fold down the back seats to give you that much more space. So this could absolutely be your daily driver. It is comfortable and it is practical with the amount of space in the trunk and the back seats, which we will work our way to. We have the new flush door handle design that BMW has incorporated. And then for the door panel, you can see some indentions along with these colors. We have memory seating adjustments, all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, even a trunk release, and some more storage in the lower section. Now for these particular seats, these are a no-cost option to go with this two-tone color with the black leather. They are automatic, and we have the manual adjustment for the front section there. A comfortable seat. And then in order to gain access to the rear, simply just pull on that tab and the seats will move forwards. We also have the BMW colors stitched on the seat belts there. Now, this is a 4-seater sports car. I am 5'10". I do have a good amount of space. There's some temperature adjustments and fans, climate adjustments there, so that way if you do have backseat passengers, they are comfortable. My head is just up against the headliner, but I could definitely ride around town. We have storage. We also have what you could use as an armrest or to put in some longer items if needed. So it's practical for people if you need to have backseat passengers or you need that extra storage space for the interior. So for the size of this vehicle, it makes it very open, especially with the rear glass there. It doesn't feel like it's tight and claustrophobic, which is of course great to see. Now for the interior, we have solid leather for the steering wheel, all the cruise control settings, there's volume and tuning, and then we have Bluetooth and voice commands. as well as M1 and M2. This is how you can set up presets in order to drive this the way that you would like to, from the suspension, throttle input, exhaust note. You can have those set up and ready to go. But let's fire this up now. And we can go over the gauge cluster here, where currently you can see miles per hour as well as the tach. And right in the middle, we can go through more content just by pushing on that button. We can scroll through and monitor all of this information. You have live readouts here that you can monitor, as well as the TPMS and tire pressure, or the temperature for the tires. You have other vitals. You can look at how the vehicle is currently set up with those presets. You have the navigation, so you can pull up the map, pull up your compass, and then you have some other driving data. Now you can also go over to the head-up display. It might be a little bit hard to see. We are viewing the miles per hour and the speed limit sign. You can also pull up the directional view, which now shows the compass, and then there's a reduced view at the same time. Now there's one more setting that you can go into. Just by pushing on M mode, you will see we have road, sport, and track. Putting it into a sport mode, you will see now we have miles per hour as well as the tach, and then on the left side you have some other info like your G-force meter that is fixed. You can also still go through the rest of that content just by scrolling through it. It's a little bit smaller, of course, but you have the main information right in front of you. And then the RPM or the tach will show up on the head-up display as well. For the last setting, if you go into track and activate that, it will actually shut off the infotainment system, and then we have a little bit different of a design, still retaining the same heads-up display with a few other icons. So just depending on how you are driving this, you can just tap on the screen to get back to what you would like to. Not a whole lot of configurability, but it has the performance configurability that you would like. Now on this left side, we have all the headlight adjustments. This also has the Harman Kardon sound system. And then for the infotainment system, this is the home screen where you can scroll through all of these icons just depending on what you need to get into and monitor. You can even add some widgets as needed, so that way you can have all of your presets right at your fingertips here. Now on this left side, you can quickly get into your navigation along with your music and phone, and then you can even pull up Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the interior lighting, which is this strip right here and this one right here. And then you have various other icons, even your M drift analyzer. So if you'd like to see how your drifts are in your M2, you can monitor all of that info. So it's very nice to be able to go through all of this. And then under M1 and M2, this is how you can configure everything like I mentioned earlier. So in M1, you can see everything is in comfort. And then for M2, we have everything in sport or sport plus. So that way you can depict, depending on your driving, how you would like the car to react. Now underneath that, you'll see gloss black and brushed aluminum. We have a physical button for the volume. Since there's no physical buttons for the climate adjustments, they are actually fixed in this lower section here. So you can easily get into the heated seats and then adjust the climate controls and the temperature as needed. And then we have physical buttons for tuning as well as the defrosters. Now opening up this compartment, you will see a little bit of storage. If you opt for the wireless charging pad, I believe that is located back here. It's not in this model currently. We have cup holders as well as auxiliaries. And then to put this into reverse, simply push it to the left and up, and you will see that appear. And then we have the rest of the 6 speeds, of course. We have the parking sensors as well as the engine start stop. There is a setup button, the M mode, and then you can change the exhaust note. There's the e-brake and traction control, and then we have the physical buttons for the infotainment system. So if you do not want to use it as a touchscreen system, you can quickly get through all of this info just by using this rotary dial, which is nice to see. That is not new from BMW, but it's very easy to use. Right in the middle, we have the armrest, of course, with an auxiliary and a little bit of storage for all of that information. And then the glove box has an ample amount of space for additional items. And then visibility from the driver's seat, like I mentioned earlier, it's very open feeling. So you have no blind spots really with this vehicle. There's also a call button, and then the dome lights are up in the headliner as well. And with an acceleration from second gear, here we go. Even on the gas around that turn, very mild for today. But from experience, taking this on more twisty roads and really opening it up, it's a phenomenal car. For under $70,000, You can break 70 if you go with the carbon bucket seats and a few other options, but realistically, under $70,000. Comment down below on a car that can compete with everything the M2 has. You really can't. It's such a unique car in a unique part of the car market that it's just, I mean, if you have to drive one, you'll get over the looks of it, I think, because to me, it looks very nice. But once you get behind the driver's seat and really experience this car, BMW really knows how to make performance out of their M cars as far as the handling characteristics go, the power that you can get, giving you 3 pedals, which every car enthusiast wants. They really know how to make a car, but then they also know how to make a refined car. When you compare this to the Toyota Supra, which my brother owns, and we did a comparison video on, so check that out if you want to see the similarities and differences between those BMWs. But the refinements in this M2, this is more, when you compare it to the Supra is more of a go-kart feeling car, much tighter, hunkered down, you know, a little bit more nimble in a sense. When you get behind the M2, you can really see the refinements in this car. Not to downplay the Supra by any means, but when you see like how quiet it is, how comfortable it is to drive, the refinements of it, you know, the clutch pedal, the shifter, it's a little bit more laid back, but it still gives you that M performance being an M car. So I like the whole package of this car. It's not too expensive, relatively speaking, with the performance that you get. And it's just a blast to drive. I could definitely see myself buying an M2. I know my brother can. He might trade in the Supra for an M2 someday because of the practicality. The Supra only has 2 seats. If you have kids, you know, and you need that extra seating, you could fit your kids in the back seat and still have the performance that you want from this car. It's incredible. And I know I'm saying that just driving in a straight line, but check out the other videos that we made on 2 M2s now, because we had one in that red color, reddish orange, and now we are behind the wheel of this blue. This does have active rev matching. I haven't been able to see if you can actually turn that off or not, but it is helpful to have. I do prefer to do it myself, but it's nice that you do have it. I think it's only in the Sport Plus setting. And with one last acceleration for today, that is it for the 2023 BMW M2. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this M car for me today. Check out their website. That link is down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay tuned or check out our other M2 content and stay tuned for our daily uploads. We can hear that exhaust, sounds so good. I will see you all in the next video.